I'm gonna be honest with you, running Google ads is extremely easy, but you know what's harder? Running Google ads profitably. This is literally where 99% of e-commerce store owners fail because they literally have zero clue on how to run Google ads profitably, that too for a long period of time. So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what allows me to run any e-commerce brand basically which I handle both under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, as well as a personal e-commerce brand profitably, and that too for a long period of time. Now keep in mind, the strategy I'm about to kind of break down in this video, it works regardless of niche, industry, or whatever selling price of your product. But it definitely does need a little bit of kind of segmentation and advancement in order to kind of make custom to your own brand and to your own niche, because I'll be honest, every niche is different. So my ad account is different from yours, it's different from your competitors, and one set strategy will really not work for them. So instead, what you need to do in order to find the greatest levels of success and that to profitable success is to find that one main framework which works and then make it customized, divided up so that it matches your strategy. Now let's start right from the beginning as to what I personally do in order to even make any of these strategies that I try with my own e-commerce brands work with Google Ads, and that too profitably. So as you can see right here, I'm looking at various different e-commerce brands, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change up the ad account just a bit to go over one of the major ad accounts to show you exactly in detail how the strategies work. So we're gonna be going ahead and looking at this e-commerce brand right here, which is loading up. In essence, my strategy, which allows me to run Google Ads campaigns profitably, actually starts way before I launch even a single campaign. And the strategy starts with the overall kinds of products and the overall types of backend optimizations I actually do. Now keep in mind, in order to run Google Ads profitably, you need to have certain things that go beyond your campaign strategy going correctly at the same time. So what most people don't understand that run e-commerce brands with Google Ads is the easy part is launching the campaign. The easy part is setting a bid. It's easy to just scale it even, but what's really hard is to get that growth coming in long term through these external factors. And believe me, there's a lot of external factors that kind of work together to make your Google Ads campaign successful and profitable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna now look at all of the specific campaigns which we currently have running right here, and I'm just gonna be pricing it based off of the cost. So just in the last 30 days alone, these are the specific campaigns which I've spent the most money. You will see that there's multiple different campaigns running at any given period of time within this ad account. But in the back end, what happened before these campaigns were started was a process of its own. Now, for example, just doing a quick search for the legendary example of 3D printers, because as you already know, for whatever reason, I'm just in love with 3D printers. I haven't figured out why either. But looking at 3D printers, what we can see is that clearly those e-commerce brands ranking more towards the front, they don't just run campaigns. I mean, if you think about it in terms of a Google Ads point of view, there's all these competitors coming up one after the other. That the main thing they're doing that's similar to each other is they're running a shopping campaign. It could be a performance max campaign or it could be a standard shopping campaign. Regardless of what campaign type it is, it's all common between all of these that they are running a campaign that is related to the shopping ads place. So with that, there is no differentiation. Sure, this person right here might have a bid of 50 cents, this one might have a bid of 75 cents, and this one might be running on a performance max campaign with no target ROAS set. Regardless of those changes, every single one of them is targeting the shopping listings placement. Now, with everybody doing the same exact thing with minute differences in the setting side of things, what can be done so that despite being the same in the major part of the campaign strategy, you are still able to rank number 1, number 2, number 3 versus somebody who's doing the same exact thing as you in terms of the Google Ads side of things and the campaign side of things, but ranking all the way at the end. This is exactly why doing all of those back-end things that I mentioned becomes so important, is because just like you are running that shopping campaign, 500, 1,000, 5,000 other competitors are doing the same exact thing. It's those individuals, those e-commerce stores that have different images going for them, that have proper SEO techniques within their titles, that have good pricings, that are really able to stand out of the crowd. So the main reason why I'm able to run my Google Ads campaigns profitably, number one reason, It's not because I have some special strategy with my campaigns or I have some crazy bid or, I do special negative keywords or whatever. It starts with the back end. It's entirely based on how much effort I'm putting into making sure my title is much better than my competitors in terms of SEO, and making sure my image itself, it stands out compared to the rest of the competitors out there. It's also through making sure my pricing is on point and all of the product attributes that are needed in the back end for the Google Merchant Center I have already submitted, because my end goal with Google Shopping, Google Search to make it profitable is to make the Google Ads algorithm life easy. Because if you make the algorithm's life harder, it's gonna make your life harder and you're gonna be all the way in the back. And as you can see, some of these actually have very big titles. You might think, they have the reviews here, they have a pretty good product image, everything is going good. So why in the world is this VH photo, video, audio store all the way second to last, and why is it not all the way up at the front? Well, like I said, there's a lot of external factors that determine how you run your Google Ads, whether you're profitable or not. So I can almost guarantee you that VH Video and Studio right here, they might not necessarily be profitable selling this product. And the product itself makes a huge difference whether people want that product or they don't want that product. But in addition to setting up the back end, making sure you have a very strong, rock solid foundation, you gotta make sure that your products are getting the chance that they need in order to be shown properly. So what I mean by this is, are you one of those e-commerce store owners that just jumbles up everything inside of one or two major campaigns? Or are you one of those e-commerce store owners where you have multiple campaigns running at any given time, and you understand that in order to be successful with Google, you need to have some sort of phases in place, you need to have some sort of segmentation in place? Honestly, the only reason why my Google Ads campaigns themselves are profitable nowadays in 2022 and upcoming in 2023, why they will be profitable, is because I have found a strategy, which is the segmentation strategy, which allows Google's algorithm to basically go within each campaign, figure out what audience members are more suited for that given campaign based on its products and the segmentation, and then find the perfect audience for that without having any sort of other influence from any random product. So for example, what I mean by this is, if I'm selling within the baby niche, for example, diapers, and then I'm also selling baby cribs, I don't want both of those products to get into one campaign so that Google's algorithm will get confused trying to find the right kind of audience. Because in reality, the people that want that baby diaper are the different kinds of people compared to those that want baby cribs. I mean, with baby cribs, maybe the baby is yet to be born, it's not even born yet, they're just preparing the room for the child. Maybe that's the majority of the audience. Whereas with baby diapers, the baby needs to be physically there to wear the diaper. So keeping that in mind, that means those people already have had their babies. And this might seem very small, minute even, but trust me, it makes a big difference as to what the audience is, what Google is actually reaching out to. And if you make Google's life harder, it's not gonna make your life easier by making you profitable. So you gotta make sure that you're not really forcing Google by having unrelated products together. And again, if you kind of follow these steps that I just mentioned, you're gonna be able to see some results coming in. Whether they're profitable or not, that's far from the real story, but you should see something coming in. Like with this campaign right here, you see a 6.5x ROAS in the last 30 days. Things are moving very smoothly within this campaign, and that's because we followed step number 1 and step number 2 for this. And again, a lot of these e-commerce brands that we follow these steps for are actually under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, which if you're currently doing $30,000 or more per month in revenue, you need a little bit of extra help scaling your e-commerce brand to the next level, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can possibly work together and make that happen. But in addition to actually the type of campaign you launch, in order to make it profitable, you gotta make sure that your campaigns are getting the right kind of data. Because if this 7x ROAS, it's actually not even true, it's like a 2x ROAS, but then Google is getting the wrong data, and for whatever reason your conversion tracking is off, so it's recorded as 7x ROAS, your campaign will think it's doing an amazing job, and it will continue to reach out to this same audience, even though in the back end you really know it's not working and there's no results coming. That's the importance of proper conversion tracking. It's not just to tell you, like, to make you essentially boost your own ego or anything like that. It's more to let the campaign know that it's doing the right job by showing your ad to the right audience member. So if you don't have this properly set up, then nothing else matters. No kinds of segmentation, phases will help you run your ads profitably. You gotta make sure conversion tracking is checked. And the reason why I'm saying this right now is because I've audited Google Ads accounts spending $1 million a year and making back 2 million, 3 million, but then their conversion tracking is all off and they're actually not even making 2 million or 3 million. Those are the times when I really cringe, because how can you really spend $1 million without even knowing if the data you're seeing is accurate or not? So you really don't want to be one of those people, not just because it's just unprofessional, but your campaigns cannot optimize out. Once you have your conversion tracking in place, then you should most likely be seeing some profitable results, unless you're completely screwing up in the back end or your campaign strategy is off. But if you're not sure what kind of strategy to start with, I always recommend just starting with a low bid campaign strategy, regardless of how many conversions you have. So you might be doing $50,000 a month already with Google. But if you want to start a brand new campaign and you're not sure of the bid, start with a low bid, slowly progress upward. So a standard shopping campaign ideal bid might be 45 cents or 55 cents, even depending on your niche. But start on the lower end, start on 40 cents or maybe 45 cents, and then work your way upwards, 5 cents every 7 days or so, just so you know that whatever bid you have set, it's actually profitable, instead of bidding way too high and not knowing if the bid being too high is the problem or the bid being too low is the problem. Because trust me, that happens a lot, and then you might end up taking the wrong decision. So keep in mind that, again, the bids, they differ significantly based on per niche, but try to do your best to kind of start with the general overall bid and then work your way upwards with that. But another kind of good way to go about with this is to start with smart bidding. So as you can see, this is a smart performance max campaign right here. But then if we look at the bids right here, we can see the bids are different on any given day. So for example, average CPC, the overall average CPC is 70 cents, but in the beginning and recently it was at $1. So smart bidding, this is the beauty. It can go all the way down from 24 cents all the way up to $1 and then go back down to 74 cents, depending on what it thinks is the right bid to bid on that given day. This is how smart essentially works. And if this were a standard shopping right here, your bid, it would, if you had set it at 70 cents, it would be almost a very, very straight line. Now, of course, it's not like full on linear straight line, because that's not how bidding works. It will still have its ups and downs, but it will most likely never cross that 70-cent bid limit, depending on if you're using maximized clicks or manual CPC. So that's kind of like a downfall with manual CPC or standard shopping in general. Those kinds of bidding options might not help you scale profitably unless, of course, you find the right bid right from the beginning. You start with a low bid to start off. Again, smart bidding can really help you become more profitable. It helps me all of the time. But the real profitability now comes in when I mix and match my shopping campaigns with other campaign types. So shopping, you got to understand, it's only one campaign type. There's tons and tons of other campaign types out there which you can try, like search campaigns, dynamic remarketing campaigns, display campaigns, discovery, even YouTube campaigns for that matter. So there is no reason for you not to give them a try. But always have a mix of shopping and other campaign types, because one thing I've understood from running my Google Ads campaigns profitably across multiple accounts is these campaigns, believe it or not, actually send data to each other, because the data that gets stored from these campaigns, it's stored on a very, very broad account level. So because of that, essentially what happens is the campaigns are able to kind of spread data between each other and then learn from each other. So it really helps them become extremely profitable, and that too, extremely smart as well. So you always want to be running different campaign types at any given period of time. But in addition, you need to have a consistent flow of products coming in. That's one major thing I learned running Google Ads campaigns profitably across these multiple ad accounts. Those ad accounts which never really had any new products coming in were the accounts that suffered the most, because ad fatigue is real, product fatigue is real, believe it or not. Product saturation, that too, is also real. So you want to kind of fight that by having a consistent flow of products coming in, because that's really the only way to, on an ongoing basis, make your campaigns profitable day in, day out, month in, month out, and of course, year in and year out. But those are essentially the main things I've seen work, not only for my own e-commerce brands, but also for my clients' e-commerce brands. Again, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me if you're already doing $30,000 or more per month in revenue, if you want to scale to the next level with Google. But if you found any type of value in this video, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and watch any of these two videos right in front of my face to take your Google Ads journey to the next level. And I will see you in my next video.